one. Hey, what's up, you guys? Artemis Prime here doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Marvel Legends Brood Queen Wave Astonishing Cyclops. Wow, it's been a minute since I've done a Marvel Legends figure review, and damn, if my voice sounds a little weird, it's because I'm a little sick, so yeah, please forgive me. Now, this figure came out a while ago. I want to say back in 2009, 2010, something like that, maybe even earlier. Shoot, I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is a figure that I was never really interested in, and I just picked him up because I was like, hey, you know, there's going to be the Wolverine Legends wave coming out soon this year, and which actually turned out to be a previews exclusive, or you can get it at Big Bad Toy Store.
Big! Get your big badass toys at bigbadtoystore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Which they're selling for a lower price than previews itself. So if you want to pick it up, I honestly recommend go to bigbadtoystore.com. The only thing is you got to pick up 8, you know, so you got to pick up 2 sets. So if you have a friend that wants to buy the second set, or you want 1 mint on card, go ahead and do that. So yeah, that link will take you directly to the Wolverine Legends wave. So I bought this guy just to compare it to the new Cyclops coming out, and I actually really ended up liking this figure. The articulation is better than I thought it would be. The sculpt, I think he's a little frail. I can't really pinpoint exactly what mold they used for this guy. It looks like a Quicksilver mold, but it's not. There's these lines in the figure that are kind of unique. So I don't really know exactly what figure this was used from. It may be an original sculpted mold and everything. And I did buy this used, so there is some scuffing. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. So right off the bat, I have to say that it is easier for you to get him into his optic blast pose than I think any other Cyclops figure from Marvel Legends that I've ever seen. So, but just looking at the paint and the sculpt of this guy, there's no real paint shading on him. His face is kind of a bland flesh tone. I wish it was a little on the darker side, or they added some kind of shading to it. Looks like he has some paint variation right there on his chin and his nose, but I think that's just wear. I don't really know. I do like this shiny blue paint on his visor, and the visor seems to have a little bit of shimmer in the red. I may just be imagining that, it's hard to tell, but regardless, it does look really cool, except for that little red paint splotch right there. But that's the head sculpt, which isn't too bad. As far as the rest of the figure goes, I do like this dark blue. I wish there was paint shading. Again, some scuffs right there on the yellow. The yellow is very, very bright. I think a little too bright. And there's those hatching marks inside the sculpt on the arm that I was talking about, right there at the bottom of the abs. It's like you see that red and yellow together right there on his belt. That just looks very, very weird to me. I really don't know what this sculpted hand is all about. This is kind of weird. I wish they gave him a fist instead. I guess this is like a butt scratching hand pose right here. Then of course right over here we have the Emma Frost pleasure pose. You know what I'm talking about? More of that hatching mark on his legs. The boots look pretty cool, and there's his feet. And he does not have peg holes at the bottom of his feet. There's a better side view of the figure going on right here. Then we can just turn around so you can see his buff back. And then there's some weird creamy white stuff in the creases over here, which I just hope is soap. God, I hope it's only soap. Now, for an earlier Hasbro release, I'm very impressed with the articulation of this guy. His head does look up very, very far. Look at that. That is spectacular. Moves down very far as well, and his head moves side to side too. He has ball-jointed shoulders that move outward, they move forward, biceps swivel, double-jointed elbows, which bend that far, which is pretty damn good. His wrist moves side to side, and they do not move up and down. On this side, it does not move up and down either, which I was really hoping it would, but it's not a big deal because he does have finger articulation. All the fingers are grouped together and they move up and down, so you can see that, which really makes it a lot easier to get him into his optic blast kind of pose. And then he has a great ab crunch that moves back just a little bit, but it moves far forward, very far. The sculpt, it just feels like he's a little thin or something over here. It's just kind of weird. He does have a waist swivel right here. He has the wide joints at the hips that move outward, and you have to rotate him around and then spin the upper thigh to move that forward. So he does have that upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. He has ankles that do not move side to side at all. I wish there was a boot cut over here, but there is not. His ankles move downward, they move upward, very far, jeez. And he has a magnificent ankle pivot, very classic Toy Biz ankle pivot over here. So this figure stands, I want to say, right at about 6 inches. And here he is compared to the X-Men Classics Toy Biz Jim Lee Cyclops, and here he is next to the Toy Biz Sentinel Wave Classic Cyclops. So yeah, you can see that, especially compared to the Toy Biz Cyclops, you can see this guy does look a little bit puny, and the Jim Lee Cyclops looks even punier. I really think we need a new one. And yeah, I think it's actually a pretty decent figure. His head does look a lot smaller than the other two. It's just kind of weird. I feel like his proportions are just a little off and away, but overall, I'm impressed with the figure. I do like the figure. He has shot up in price. I was lucky enough to pick mine up for only 12 bucks, but I think it goes for like 20 something bucks on eBay. So if you find a good deal on it, I totally recommend getting it. Like I said, we are getting a new Astonishing Cyclops, or a more recent modern Cyclops, whichever you want to call it. Check out marvelousnews.com for the latest in all Marvel related news. Check out my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. Links are all in the description below. I hope you guys liked my review, and I will catch you later. Peace. Zap.
Crispy.
Which, okay,